Hey nerdlings, Nick Lotus84 back with another episode of Asagao Academy with UltimateCarl.
Hey.
And we just finished eating lunch with the Normal Boots guys for the second day in a row. And class is over and we're back in our room again. After class ended that day, Mai said she had volleyball practice and sped off. Thankfully, this time I knew where I was going, so I headed straight back and collapsed on my bed. It was nice to have some time to myself. After everything that happened, I felt like I was going crazy. I could use some relaxation. I didn't have a computer or a TV, and the book Satch gave me was really good, but sometimes got a bit hard to read. Instead, I took out my phone and started flipping through the App Store. Nothing really looked good. Wait, what was this? I sat up. Dumbadoom's Revenge. Face off against 3 other players as you catch monsters, raise them, and use their unique skills to aid you on your puzzle-solving quest. Only you can save Meta World from its ignorant king and utter destruction. Now with the single-player campaign, raise crops to feed your monsters. If you're lucky, they'll transform into cute girls. Okay, how many different game tropes?
I want this game.
Right? What the hell? That was my thought too. It looked so stupid, but it couldn't hurt to give it a try. It's like a cross between Pokemon and Harvest Moon is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of Digimon in there. I downloaded and started up the game.
Welcome to Dumbadoom's Revenge.
I skipped the intro sequence and quickly hit single player.
Loading.
The load times were terrible. Suddenly a cartoonish hilly valley met my eyes, panning over to a white castle nestled next to a cliff. A lazy king lay asleep on a throne when a squat silver soldier ran into the room.
King Dumbadoom, quickly, we're under attack. Oh, just send the 1st Battalion off, please. I'm rather tired.
The knight left, and the screen faded to a world map showing a horde of black blobs on the right side of the screen. A small group of knights ran up against the blobs and were instantly devoured. One of the black blobs spit out a helmet with a skull inside. What the hell is this game? Things continued in this way, with the king sending off his battalions haphazardly until no one was left. Then the king awoke in his chair and turned to the screen.
You!
Me?
Only you can save my kingdom, please!
I don't think I can save your kingdom. You're the one menacing it.
How dare you!
What the hell? Could this thing hear me?
You are no longer my advisor. Go back to your home village and let me deal with this myself.
A tiny sprite with brown hair flew across the world map, bouncing into a bunch of red houses.
I guess my only choice is to raise an army of monsters myself, overthrow the king, and then raise an army to fight the oncoming bloopity-bloobs.
How the hell did you come to that conclusion? Finally, I was allowed to play the actual game. A dozen multicolored blocks appeared on the screen. The monsters I was initially given could only hit their corresponding colors and couldn't activate any traps.
You activated my trap card.
Supposedly more monsters could eventually learn how to set traps, and you could do certain combos to hinder the opposing team. If you had an attractive girl on your team, she could use an ability to double the rate of your opponent's blocks or halve their clock time. But that had a drawback for you too, and could be used as an asset by the opponent. Not to mention that certain color combinations between girls and monsters activated unique secret abilities, and you could also evolve your monsters and feed them things. How the heck am I supposed to remember all of this? That was like exactly what I thought like the first time I played WoW.
So you can set traps and you can evolve them. You can evolve them into cute girls, but can you evolve them into traps?
Oh dear lord. I failed for the first few times, but quickly got the hang of it. I'm not touching that one. It was just about being adaptable and maintaining a flexible strategy after all. My eyes started to hurt, and I looked at the time. 8 o'clock? It had been 4 hours? I had reading to do.
Well, she's playing Civilization.
Yeah, totes. That is a time sink, Civ is. I grabbed my textbook, flicked my radio on, and began to read. There have been many times of tales of times when the moon has fallen on other planets, most popular of these being the myth of Termina. However, these myths have never proven to be more than a hallucination.
Because the hero of time came and saved everyone.
My eyes blurred over my astronomy textbook and I yawned. I love that all the lessons in this may have game references in them.
No.
The Schubert piece floating from my radio made me want to go to sleep, and I toyed with the idea of going to class without finishing my reading. Who cared how many times the moon was supposed to fall, especially when time travel was involved?
Yeah, it's Majora's Mask. Hana!
Mai burst in through the door, flung herself across the room, and grabbed my radio. Hey, where have you been? What are you doing?
Give me a second, we're missing it. There we go. But I swear, that dog was the living worst. That's why you need a bird, like my lovely Jacques.
Watch your tongue.
What is this?
Shh!
Hey.
So, the time has come to make an official announcement. This year, just like every other year, the Normal Boots Club will be participating in the video game tournament.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Yay!
As PBG applauded as though he were a crowd of 30 people, I shot a puzzled glance at Mai.
I hope you guys will support us again this year, and best of luck to our competitors. You guys are going down. And now for some music.
And of course, chiptunes. Mai turned down the radio and sighed.
Okay, what did you want?
What was that?
PB&J. It's PBG and John's radio show.
There's your PB&J pun.
Yep.
They have a radio show? What do they do on it?
Oh, they talk and stuff and play music sometimes. Everyone in school listens to it. I'm so glad you brought your radio. I forgot mine at home.
Just another reason that I gravitated toward John, I guess. Because he has a radio show, man. Fellow radio people gotta stick together. And a video game tournament?
Yeah, didn't you hear them talking about it the other day?
No. Come to think of it, I hadn't paid much attention to their conversations. I was too busy worrying about myself.
Just got lost in her head, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of scary stuff in there.
Every year they have a game tournament down at Higginbottom Mall. Lots of people come to compete, but everybody knows the real fight is between the Normal Boots Club and the Hidden Block Club.
Is that what they do? Video game tournaments?
Yeah, that's why nobody's ever joined them since their inception. Well, I guess partly they're a group of friends who just happen to make a club together, but also, unless you're really talented, you just drag them down.
Ouch.
Not all of them are so harsh, but some of them, well...
Mai glanced away, but I felt like I knew who she was talking about. Oh, she's talking about our bae, Shane. That's too bad. I'm wooing him anyway. The conversation I had before with Jimmy and Caddy came to my mind. Had they really thought I was joining the Normal Boots Club? There was no way. I hadn't played a video game since I was a kid. My father gave me a 4DS when I left home, but... Oh no, flashback time, isn't it?
Tragic past!
The night before I left for Asagao, my dad came to visit me in my room. I had packed the few things I owned into a briefcase in a single cardboard box, set to be shipped with the train. I sat and stared at the box, somewhat bitter. I barely even needed it. I didn't own much.
Hana?
Yeah, Dad? My father stood in front of me, a weary smile on his face. Even though he tried to hide it, I could see by the deep wrinkles around his eyes and forehead that he was tired, sad. The past few years had taken their toll on him, and I hadn't eased things.
You'll be leaving tomorrow?
heavy silence hung between us, filling my childhood bedroom like styrofoam.
Are you excited?
Yeah. Yeah, I am. He nodded and glanced around my room, at the pale blue walls, the broken clock above my old desk, the scuff marks around the doorframe from where I ran into it as a kid.
Repeatedly.
I lived in this house almost my whole life, ever since moving after kindergarten. It was everything I knew, but now it was too much for me. The decision to transfer to Asagao didn't come lightly. First, it was a prestigious institution with a highly prized reputation. Only the best of the best, touting either great grades, impressive talent, or lots of money, could get in. I was none of those things, but I made it in regardless. Part of me suspected I was a charity case. I received a small scholarship, and it would no doubt look good for the academy to have fostered a poverty-stricken child in its walls. What the hell, really? A poverty-stricken... And despite the fact that my father couldn't afford it, even with the scholarship, he guaranteed he'd support me if I went. I looked again at the wrinkles in his face, at his sagging shoulders. He pressed his hands against his body to hide the way they shook. All for me. He'd be all alone. Oh my God, feels.
I'm glad you're going. I think this will be good for you.
Yeah. I wished I could say something else, but nothing came.
Well, honey, just in case you get homesick, I brought a present for you.
A present? From his pocket, my dad produced a shining pink Nintendo 4DS and placed it into my hands.
For you.
Aw, but... why? How? Dad, this costs so much. You're already killing yourself to let me go. Why would you... Tears spilled from my eyes as my dad smiled.
Nothing's too good for you, my dear Hana.
Dude, this is making me miss our dad. His voice was trembling. By the way, our dad's not dead. He just lives really far away.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Our parents live away from us. So yeah, they're not dead. It's okay.
My pride and joy. You deserve so much better than you've gotten from me.
Dad.
Go to Asagao. Have fun. Make a lot of friends, and when you get homesick, you play with that. I'll make do. Our dad would have made a fart joke by now, though, so...
Totally. I stood up and hugged him, burying my face in his scratchy sweater and oatmeal smell.
Oatmeal smell.
Our dad doesn't smell like oatmeal
No.
either. I'll miss you.
I'll miss you too, my little Hana. My little flower.
No, feels. But the thing is, he forgot to give me a cartridge to play with.
Wah wah.
Oh my God. So,
But he'll be alone ever since my mother sacrificed herself to save the world.
I'm sure we'll find out more about her mother at some point. Now I glanced at the machine, hidden behind my desk lamp. Mai watched me carefully. Wow.
Well, you never know what could happen.
What? What do you mean? Mai giggled.
Nothing. Nothing at all. But I just got back, so I got work to do.
Work, right. PBG and I still had that project due, and we hadn't met to discuss it at all. He said he had it under control, but I should probably make a backup plan just in case. It wasn't that I didn't trust him, it was just that... Okay, I didn't trust him. Sighing, I worked it kink out of my shoulder. It looked like it would be a long night. And when we continue this series, we will see how this long night goes and what happens the next day. Until next time, thanks for watching.
And later.